with this whole coronavirus thing happening, all the schools here have been shut down, probably the same story for wherever you guys are from. So we're kind of left with teaching our own kids. I don't have kids, but I have two nieces. So I'm teaching them a little bit of social studies, and I'm starting with local history. And there's something here on our property that I think you guys would really like to see. This right here, this is my parents' driveway. And it is actually the original Gold Rush Trail. There's a spot just past their house where the whole wall is actually built out of rock foundation, or rock siding, sorry. And right beside me here, when we were kids and my parents bought this property, there's this weird little divot that goes into the hillside right here, and it's an old Chinese store or home site. And you know it's Chinese because they used to build the sides with rock. You see it a lot in the old ghost towns in the China section. So it's very overgrown. I haven't been in here since I was a child, so I'm gonna clear it out and show you guys. I have everything pretty well cleared out here. Here in Canada, you're gonna find two different kinds of homes dug into the ground. One of which called a quiggly hole, and that's what the Native Americans used to dig and live in. And those are typically just a round hole, and you don't find rocks in the side or anything like that. It's just a round hole in the ground. And when you metal detect those, you never find anything because there was no metal back in the day. Then the other kind, what we have here, would be called a dugout or a pit house, and this was built by the Chinese during the gold rush. So I haven't been in here since I was a child. It's amazing how fast the poplars take over again. First thing I want to tell you guys is I'm not an expert at this. This is just a cool thing that is on the property here, and since we're doing this isolation thing, it's a nice fun little video and something to get me out of the house. So what I tell you is just to the best of my knowledge. The rest we're just going to kind of learn together. But a big benefit to these pit houses like this is in the wintertime there's very little heating, and in the summertime there was no need to cool at all. It stayed nice and cool inside here. So there would have been probably a flat roof with dirt on top of it. And from what I can see, there's actually two entrances in here. So let's take a look. So this is the side we were just looking in. And here you can see the rocks all along the wall. This is one thing that I never noticed before. I mean, I haven't been in here since as a child, so I wouldn't have noticed, but there's this very clear ring of rocks right here. I found that really fascinating. So I'm assuming maybe this would have been where a fire or something was. Here's a really good example of how the rocks are stacked up. I imagine they would have gone all the way up the hillside before. And then this here, I'm not sure if this is something that's fallen or if it's another ring. This doesn't leave much room to walk in between, so I think this is probably something that's just fallen off. Of course, I didn't bother chopping down these big trees, just wanted to get rid of all those poplars. And then at the back here, and then this looks to be the second exit maybe, but it's weird because this is about a 4-foot elevation difference from this side to this side. So I find that pretty fascinating. If you had a roof across here, you'd have to really crouch down to get inside. And then that's it out there. But here's a good example. You can see the rocks stacked up along the side here. Just like that. Now, back in the day, this right here would have been a very tall room. Of course, the ground has risen since when it was built, probably a few feet anyways, but you would have been able to walk without crouching this whole distance until you get back to here. I hope my nieces don't watch this video before their lesson, but obviously the lesson is going to be the Caribou Gold Rush, and then I'm going to take them and show them this kind of hands-on experience. But I'm going to take the metal detecting here afterwards, and I've hidden right here a mason jar of loonies, just to make things a little bit more fun. I was going to bury it, but the ground is way too solid right now, so it's kind of just hidden in the rocks right here. I know there's a lot of locals here that are very knowledgeable about the gold rush that watch my videos. So I'm just going to kind of take a walk around the house site here, just because I don't know that much information about these kind of sites. I wouldn't know what to recognize. So if you guys see anything that looks out of the ordinary or special to you, let me know. If you're not interested in watching me just walk around with the GoPro, fast forward a little bit. We're on the top side of the home here, looking down in, and then out the what I would call back entrance. So let's just walk around a little bit. You know, it's hard to see much with the snow right now, but it is what it is. Oh, I thought this was going to be a skull up here, but it's not. So one thing I kind of noticed here is this impression doesn't look natural to me, but I could be wrong. One thing to note, you'll see these old stumps. About 100 years ago, there was a sawmill here on location, maybe just less than 100. But up by my parents' house, there is still big piles of lumber and stuff, well, big logs and stuff up there. And then this whole property is full of old stump cuts. Here's another slight indentation. To me, I would just say this is man-made. Couple game trails here. One here, one there. Nothing significant. Another indentation, but again, I don't know. I think that's probably all we're gonna be able to see with the snow the way it is. So I think I'll take you guys and show you the actual wagon road with the rocks built up the side. Obviously we've changed this driveway a lot since we got the property, but it used to be two big divots from the wagon wheels. Up top on the property right now, and this is where the old sawmill used to be. So I'll show you one of these piles. This old lumber here, huge big trees, and there's a few of these still left on the property. And we found a bit of cool stuff from back in the day when the sawmill was here. I found a coin from 1917, one of the older ones I've found. But there's lots of stuff here. And then just down from my parents' house is an old dump site. I haven't dug around in it a whole lot. I have metal detected it and was just finding old cans. Nothing really of any interest, so I haven't dug around in there, but I know people do find a lot of cool stuff in old dump sites, so I should probably take a closer look one day. This road here, it's the more maintained road. Maybe that's the one they had for the sawmill, but this branch off here, this is part of the actual old wagon road. And then you can start to see the rock up the sidelines here. Right there is a good example. That's it. And this road does continue on for, well, I mean, technically it continues on to Vancouver, but on our property, maybe there's another 100 feet before you hit the highway. This spot here, I mean, these two spots that you guys saw today, these are a couple of the spots that really started my interest in history as a very young kid, actually. I was very fortunate. My parents took us up metal detecting as a kid, and we found lots of cool stuff. My sister actually is the one that found the China house that you guys saw today. And I was so jealous when I was a kid. But then I found this section here with the road and the rocks built up. And finding that when I was a boy was such an exciting moment for me, to see something that's 150 plus years old and still standing for us to enjoy today. Was just a really inspirational moment, I think, in my younger years. Here's another pile of wood from the old sawmill days. And there's a few of these piles around here. Looks like my dad's been chopping down some poplars. Once they start, you can't stop them, so gotta chop them down. Well, the GoPro just died, so I'm gonna have to close on this camera. I don't usually do the vlog part on this camera because I can't tell if it's focusing. The screen's on the other side. But I hope you guys enjoyed this adventure. I know I can't get out super far right now and do much because everything's shut down, but I hope you guys are able to get out and explore and get some exercise. If you're at home stuck watching the TV, hope you're watching Destination Adventure. As always, take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. I'll catch you on the next one.